Hey, what's going on, everyone? Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas with you. We are still talking about the same lake effect snowstorm. This was to be expected. We're going to see this run right on through most of Saturday as well. Let me know where you are watching from. If you're watching from the Great Lakes, I know everybody's getting pounded. We can take a look at around Lake Michigan, Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, Lake Huron. Lake Superior as well, but the obvious main event when it comes to this crushing lake effect snowstorm is no doubt off the shores of Lake Erie, and we are just getting pummeled south of Buffalo. If you saw the video we put out last night, we were talking about this was mainly going to be for areas south of Buffalo. Don't worry, we got snow in Buffalo, and we are going to get more as this band shifts to the north, but so far, the main event has been, as expected, at least on this channel, south of Buffalo toward Orchard Park and towards Hamburg, Eden, Silver Creek, New York. It has just been crazy. What you're looking at now is the live radar. I want to show you, this just came out here from the National Weather Service. And again, let me know where you're watching from. This is some of the snowfall totals. Again, this is hot off the press. I didn't have time to make a nice fancy graphic. I just wanted to show you. But look at these numbers. 54 inches. And that is of an hour ago. And it's still snowing at about 2 to 3 inches an hour in Orchard Park, New York right now. I mean, we were talking yesterday that we could see snowfall totals in Orchard Park of about 65 inches. That might be on the lower side when all said and done, because this band is not lifting north just yet for us in and around Orchard Park. Blasdell, we have 48 inches. Elma, we just talked about you. 48 inches of snow as well. To the west of Orchard Park, about 40 inches. We talked also yesterday that lake effect snow is a beast to forecast. The pictures that you see all over the place just show massive snow, on the south side of Buffalo, and then hardly anything on the north and west side of Buffalo. It's all because of the wind direction. It's just insane what is going on. And again, all of this was to be expected. I want to show you that live look again. We didn't get too much more snow here. We're back up to 16 inches. It looks like this is that live look from the Radar Omega page, if you have that app. And again, we have about 16 inches of snow there. That's a lot of snow, but certainly the crushing stuff is off to our south. Hey, Eddie, what is going on this evening? Thanks again for tuning in. It's crazy. And I would imagine we still have about a foot of snow to go in Orchard Park. It's actually crazy. All right, if you are interested on the northern side of this event, of course, Lake Ontario is cranking out impressive snowfall totals as well. We'll take it closer to Watertown and into Fort Drum. You see that there. We're trying to break this band up a little bit. It's not as, at least, fire hosey, if you will, as what we looked at this morning and what it has been all afternoon. But look at this. Again, these darker gray areas there indicate where we have a couple of inches of snow per hour. I'm going to turn on the reflectivity here. So this is taking the precipitation type out of it. Of course, precip type in this kind of event, that is a non-issue. It's all snow. But when you see the darker yellows, that's where the higher reflectivity on the radar beam is being picked up and just shows the intensity. So we'll go check that out down in Buffalo. And again, if you live in Buffalo, like, this is crazy right here. This is, how crazy, like Sheldon, we're talking about yellows and oranges popping up. That's crazy to get when there's not heavy rain or hail. So it's snowing like crazy in Sheldon right now, West Seneca. But you can see, again, most of this is south of downtown Buffalo. And I'm sure if there's a lot of people in Buffalo that's like, where's all this crazy historic or potentially historic snow? it's coming for you, at least a good amount of snow. I don't think the historic stuff is coming for you. We talked about this again yesterday, that most of this would stay closer towards Orchard Park and into Hamburg. We were showing you the high-resolution future radar, and if you were with us yesterday, I hope you were. If you're finding the channel for the first time, welcome. We talk and track all things weather on this channel. Would love to have you on board. This is... we have a lot of fun on this channel. We're not talking about destructive things. And I mean, this event certainly can be destructive where we're getting the 50 to 60 inches of snow. It's crazy. So welcome. If you like what you see, I would love it if you give it a like, a thumbs up. It does help more people see the video here. But just insane amounts of snow continues to fall in and around Buffalo. We are going to turn on the widespread radar now, and we're going to take a look at the rest of the Great Lakes, because we are also getting snow. Certainly the heaviest snow, no doubt, is off of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie, but still the lake effect snow machine cranked up into the UP of Michigan, also into Traverse City, Michigan, Detroit. Every now and then we're getting some light snow. Certainly nothing as heavy as what we're seeing in New York. Every now and then I'm just going to glance off to my other computer here to look at some new fresh reports that are coming in. And if you want to take a look at some of those reports again, just let me know. I'm going to refresh that too, and we can look at the latest high-resolution radar. If you are just joining, welcome. See, we have some new people on the stream. Thank you so much for finding us. Welcome. Let me know where you are watching from, and we can talk more about your location. But just insane stuff. I'm going to turn on the precip type mask again so that we can see it as blue. Look at this. I just turned on the lightning probability over the last 1 hour, and you can see where it's really cranking out again. Right where the Buffalo Bills play. Right over Orchard Park. Right where we have had the insane amounts of snow. I mean, it's just crazy. What is going on in Buffalo? Of course, we're used to this, and we're hardy up there. We are hardy. Eddie brings up a good point. It is only November. Yeah, we're getting about, well, I guess at the airport, we're not going to be getting half at the official observing site, but we might get half of what we get all year already in November. And such is typical in these crazy lake effect events before the lake freezes over, of course. Once the lake freezes over, it shuts off lake effect snow season. November is pretty much the prime month to do it. The lake is still relatively warm, at least compared to the air masses that slide over them. And the intensity of the snow, the intensity of the event is dictated by the difference in temperature between the relatively warm lake and the air at 850 millibars, a couple thousand feet up. So when there's a huge difference in temperature like we see today, that's where we can get the crazy instability. We can see and hear thundersnow, which we've seen a lot of today. And if you're living in and around Buffalo, I'd love to know what you're seeing in your backyard, certainly again south and east of Buffalo. But man, just crazy amount. Again, the latest report in from the National Weather Service, we have 55 inches of snow, or 54 inches of snow. 54 inches of snow in Orchard Park. So it was going to be really, really hard for the Buffalo Bills to play the game. Not because the weather was going to be that bad. The worst of the snow would have been done by game time, but it would have just been crazy to clean up and to get ready. So if you're just joining us, welcome to the stream. I see we have a few new people on board. Welcome to the channel. If you like what you see, please give this a like. If you love talking and tracking weather across the country, please give us a subscribe and join this awesome weather community. Here are some of the other reports. Again, I didn't get to make a nice fancy graphic for you because this just came out hot off the press from the National Weather Service. 48 inches of snow in Blasdale. And again, this is from a couple of hours ago. Like, I want to make that clear too. So this report from Blasdale came in at 2 o'clock. We've not had a fresh report. We're likely above 50 inches. It's shutting off a little bit in that area in Blasdale. It's still snowing like crazy in Orchard Park. I would not be surprised if we are up to 60 inches right now. Because, again, this report came in from 4 o'clock. We are now pushing 6 o'clock Eastern time. Elma also getting that report of 48 inches. I'm sure we're over 50. It's snowing at about 2 inches per hour. So where we're focused on now, again, if you are tuning in from Buffalo, we keep on talking about this, and I'm sure, and I don't know what the local news channels were talking about. I did not get a chance to see what the forecast was, at least for downtown. I know there was a lot of just blobbiness with the snow maps out there that may have included downtown Buffalo in these crazy snow totals. I still think we're going to get north of a foot in downtown Buffalo and just to the north of the city. I think that's still coming, but we were talking about this yesterday, that in all likelihood, the worst of the weather, where we're going to get the crushing stuff, is south of the city, exactly where it's set up. And again, this is really, really hard to forecast. I mean, the main intense band here is about 15 to 20 miles. I mean, up here, Niagara Falls, getting into Amherst, Welland, hardly anything, relatively speaking. So it's crazy. Hey, Joel, what's going on? Thank you so much for tuning in Puerto Rico. Now, we have a couple of people watching from Puerto Rico where we are not seeing any of this snow. That's a good place to be right now. But I know my people from Buffalo love this stuff. Maybe not 5 or 6 feet, what is falling now. But if you are watching from where we're getting some of the snow, let me know if you are enjoying this stuff, whether it's in Michigan, whether it's in Ohio, Pennsylvania, near Lake Erie, and then, of course, western and upstate New York. Lake effect snow's crazy. I mean, it's one of those finicky weather phenomenon that, again, a couple miles is going to change drastically what you are seeing. We're going to take a look again up on Lake Ontario for those that are interested. Watertown area, Denmark, New York, New Brennan. Just look at this. This is craziness. Absolutely insane. So, I mean, again, that's a crazy amount of DBZ is the measurement there of the radar. And again, to see something that high, it just goes to show, that this is extremely intense. And if you are watching from these areas, you know what I'm talking about, of course. So if you are just joining us, welcome. We are talking about the crazy snow amounts that are falling and will continue to grow through the rest of tonight and for most of Saturday, and for some of us maybe even into Saturday just a little bit. So appreciate everybody tuning in. Welcome. If you are just tuning in for the first time, welcome to the channel. We talk and track all things weather across the country. And now we are focused on western and upstate New York, where we are just seeing an incredible lake effect snowstorm manifest itself. There were some nasty snow squalls in and around Pittsburgh earlier as well. So if you're tuning in from western PA, Butler right now getting a nice healthy push of snow. And there's currently a snow squall warning out in parts of Pennsylvania, in eastern Pennsylvania, for some of the snow moving in there. This is going to be east of State College, PA. So it's a winter wonderland out there. Let me turn back on my snow thing. It shut off somehow. Stand by, please. Winter weather radar. That's what we need. And there's where it is right now. So moving towards LaPorte, Forksville, Overton, Pennsylvania. A nice little healthy batch of snow pushing through. Okay. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I know we have a few new viewers on here. Thank you so much for doing that. If you don't want to comment, please give a thumbs up. That would help the channel out a lot and let more people see this. And we can find the weather nerds out there, like all of us that are watching and have been tuning in for the bulk since the channel has gotten started a few months ago. Yes, Eddie says, would have been nice if this snow for Christmas would have stayed there. It's yet to be determined if this is going to hang around. I mean, it's going to take a long, long time for this snow to melt. It is going to be crazy long. But I do think if you saw the winter forecast that I put out, and I will post that for you, I made a winter update for what I think is going to happen into the season for the months of December, January, and February. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So let me post that for you. If I can find it. While I get that for you, post where you're watching from. I would love to see that, and I would love to give you a shout out and look at the weather where you are. If you're not being impacted by this snow, you're in luck. I mean, I know it's cold across a lot of the country, but it's crazy. All right, I found it. There we go. I have found my link. So if you're interested in some of the long-range stuff, I just posted that for you. Right there at the top, a link to the video we made a few days ago on what I think is going to happen for the winter ahead. Still going to be, I think, pretty nasty in this area, and especially to the west of this area. So you can take a look at that and look at what I'm expecting to happen for the winter ahead. That is going to be pinned in the comments there. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. For the new viewers that are joining us, I would love to know where you're watching from. Now we just got a bunch more on here. Please post that in the comments. Please give this a thumbs up if you haven't already. Consider subscribing. We talk all things weather and would love to have you on board. I love getting all your weather reports from across the country and all of the above. Eddie asks if I will be with you in hurricane season 2023. I absolutely will. I will 100% be with you in 2023. I caution, though, my video on Monday that's going to come out, I don't think we're done. We may not be done. We may have one more storm in the Caribbean. So we have to watch out for that. Some of the long-range things are lighting up because of a strong cold front that's coming down that moves into the Caribbean. So we may not be done in 2022, but I will certainly be with you tracking those hurricanes in 2023. Hopefully it's a lot more gentle in 2023 than what it has been. We have a major lake effect snow event going. If you're watching from Western New York, welcome to the channel. If you're watching from Michigan or Ohio or Pennsylvania, welcome to the channel. We are getting some heavy snow. No doubt the heaviest snow is falling right now in Western New York. I want to show you here some of the latest snowfall reports coming in. We are talking about insane numbers. So if you are just joining us, this is hot off the press. About a few minutes ago, I think about 30 minutes ago, this was posted by the Weather Service out of Buffalo. And it has the timestamp next to these, so I will highlight that for you. This is Orchard Park, where the Buffalo Bills play. 54 inches of snow. That was as of 4 o'clock. It's been snowing at about 2 to 3 inches per hour, still in Orchard Park. Blasdell, this report came in at 2 o'clock. There's no way we're still at 48 inches. It's likely higher than that. And if all of the new people coming on board here joining this live stream have a snowfall report from Western New York, off of Lake Ontario or off of Lake Erie, off of Lake Michigan, where we are getting that lake effect snow, please post that in the comments. I would love to see your report or pictures, all of that stuff in there. So would love to see it. Ethan, good evening, my man. Crazy amounts of snow. It's insane. And we're freezing down here in Florida. I kid. But anyway, just insane. So if you're just tuning in from Western New York or maybe downtown Buffalo or north of the city, you're like, what is going on? There's a whole lot of nothing. And again, that was to be expected here, at least on this channel. We were highlighting that south of the city, south side, and then down into Orchard Park, where the Bills play. Keep on saying that. I'm rooting for you guys this year. I'm a Steelers fan, and we're not doing anything. So I'm hopping on your bandwagon. I'm pulling for you. I hope that you pull this out. I do. It's been rough the last couple weeks. Anyway, Dunkirk, we are still taking it on the chin with some very heavy snow. Concord, I'll take it closer into Hamburg. We've had more than 40 inches of snow. Minnesota Vikings. All right, Eddie. I also like them too, and that was so it was tough because I lived there in Minnesota for 4 years, so it's crazy. Ethan says some of the images are insane from a Floridian's point of view. I think it's insane from everybody's point of view. It's crazy. I can't even imagine that much snow. The most snow I've ever seen and been in was 18 inches. That was the most that I've been in. And that was when I lived in Minnesota. And I've only seen more than a foot twice. Blizzard of 93, I was like 5 years old in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I remember my dad opening the garage door and the snow falling in because there was so much snow and the drifts were insane with the Blizzard of 93. If you guys were around and living in anywhere really from Virginia through the Northeast, you know what I'm talking about when I mention the Blizzard of 93. So it's just crazy. We're not talking about a blizzard here. Remember, fun fact, a blizzard does not really deal with the amount of snow, but it's more of the wind and the visibility. Set criteria there. You can have a blizzard with no snow falling. You can have a blizzard with a half an inch of snow falling. It's all about the wind and visibility. Sustained for 3 hours time. Wind gusts of 35 miles an hour. Sustained winds of 35 miles an hour and visibility under a quarter mile for 3 consecutive hours. So it is hard to verify blizzard conditions, which we are not seeing here. Certainly whiteout conditions because the snow is just coming down so hard. It's nuts. I'm going to put this in motion and show you that there is no end in sight. Eventually, we are going to see this band lift back north. So if you're living in Buffalo or Chicotagua or Fort Erie or Amherst, you are going to eventually get back into this band. We were expecting your worst snow to come Friday night, tonight, into Saturday. So you are still going to get some snow. We were not expecting you in Buffalo or on the north side of town, though, to get the crippling stuff. That was always going to be on the south side of the city, towards Orchard Park and toward Hamburg, right along the shores there through Dunkirk, into Forestville, Silver Creek, Colden, and pretty much right where that box is, West Seneca, Elma, Blasdell. Just crazy amounts of snow right now. Let me know where you're watching from. I know we just got a bunch of new people onto the live stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is the first time that you found us, welcome. We would love to have you in this weather community. We talk and track all things weather. We do it together, and I love getting your snowfall reports. I love getting your rain reports and wind reports. So please, we would love to have you on board. Hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up so that more people can see this and join us, and then we can continue to build this weather community. Eddie is asking, how long is the snowstorm expected to last? I think the last flakes will fly Sunday afternoon. The worst of this will shut off overnight overnight into early Sunday morning. It's nuts. It's crazy. So Ethan said some of his friends north of Buffalo only have a few inches. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Lake effect snow is insane. This intense band is only 15, 20 miles wide. I'll bring out my trusty ruler. There it is. So it's 23.7 miles. The most intense part of that band, though, is only 8.5, 8.5 miles. We're like, they are getting crushed right now. So it's only about 10 miles wide. Here again, and again, it's these events are fun to forecast. Again, when they're not crushing people's homes and taking out power, because of it's a huge challenge. Because I mean, again, Amherst, Niagara Falls, Clarence, we got a little bit of snow, and we are going to get more. I think our worst stuff in the city and north of the city comes in overnight tonight and on Saturday. I will, while you guys are kind of posting some of your reports or posting where you're watching from or giving this a like or a subscribe, I'm going to go look that up. I'm going to go show you the high-res future radar for the rest of this event to kind of time this out and to show you again. It's crazy. It's crazy. And again, everything is behaving, if you want to call it that, right on schedule. So while I'm pulling this up, I just want to welcome everybody and thank you for finding this channel. We have a lot of fun talking to each other about the weather when it's not destructive. And we have had, of course, a rough go of things over the last few weeks when it comes to the hurricane season, especially. All right. That's what I wanted to show you, but that's not the updated one. There we go. All right. So we are back. So here is some of the latest data coming out. And I think this is showing on the screen. All right. So I have it zoomed in for you. All right. So this is at, let me get to the proper time. So this is at 7 o'clock in the evening. So this is about an hour from now. And note we start to lose the intensity a little bit. So this is at 8 o'clock. So I want to stop it right here. Hey, Shalom, what's going on, man? Welcome to the channel. I appreciate you. Thank you for finding us. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome. All right. Watertown, we're still getting slammed off of Lake Ontario. Notice that band is still south of Buffalo, okay? Look at what happens, though, overnight. So everybody in downtown Buffalo, Ethan, your friends, let them know that this band is going to be coming in their direction. They're not going to see the 40, 50, 60 inches that they are in Orchard Park, but they are going to get in on likely a foot or more of snow between what they picked up before and what after. So I'll show you that in a second for your friends in and around Buffalo. There we go, 7 a.m. We are still snowing very heavily now in downtown Buffalo, closer toward Niagara Falls. And then that is through 10 a.m. We are still snowing heavily, all because we are shifting the wind direction now to a more southwesterly component. So Eddie asked a really good question. So it's weird that when you're talking about lake effect snow, it's not really a system. There's a big upper low that's just pulling those winds off of the lakes. So it's all going to shut off whenever the wind stops, whenever the wind direction shifts off of the lake, or whenever we start to get rid of that instability from the temperature difference there. So it's really a very narrow area. And Ethan brought this up before, that he's got friends north of the city that have barely picked up anything. It's nuts. And there's awesome pictures out there just showing you can see the intense convective nature. I mean, there's been lightning. Convection just means thunderstorms. We've had those thunderstorms in the snow. It's nuts. If you've never seen Thundersnow or heard it before, it's crazy. YouTube it. It's unbelievable. It might be the coolest weather phenomenon out there. If you remember, Jim Cantore went nuts. I mean, there's a reason why he went nuts, because it's rare to see, because you got to time it right. It's crazy. All right, so here we go. This is going to be, we stop this, and this is the one that takes you further out. So this is still 10 o'clock in the morning, okay? This is at noon. We're still snowing in Buffalo, pretty heavily as well. Some lighter stuff falls through the evening. That's 7, 8, 9 o'clock. And then there's one more push. Look at this. Coming through. And then that's where Erie gets involved, and then Syracuse, New York, because then our wind direction becomes out of the west. So it's nuts. Again, it's all about the wind direction. When the wind direction changes, so too those bands. And again, Buffalo. We were talking on this channel yesterday. I hope you're with us. If you're just finding us for the first time, welcome. Please subscribe or consider subscribing, or at least give a thumbs up. We would love to have you in this weather community. We have a lot of fun talking with each other, and I appreciate you tuning in and watching us. But boy, it's crazy. All right, so you're probably wondering, how much snow are we going to continue to get? So let's go forward here, and let's just show this future radar has been doing a very nice job kind of showing here what the snow is doing. And you see where that darker purple is, right on in where my mouse is moving. That's still more than 9 inches to a foot. So in those areas that are pushing 60 inches, we're still talking about potentially getting another foot of snow. That would put it, that would put it at 60 to 70 inches of snow out of this event. Insane. Buffalo, maybe 8 to 12 inches additional snow coming your way. So that's for the city. And then the further northwest you are, the lower that's going to be. And then it stays strong in Watertown, another 10 to 24 10 inches right there, at least the model forecast, and then maybe getting up to 18 to 24 inches right as you get downwind a little further. You need to be a little bit removed from the lake to be able to build the convection and build some of that. So it's crazy. Yeah, it is insane. I'm very anxious to see what the final totals of this is going to be. We were talking, again, 65 inches was not out of the question. We are well on our way. If you are just joining us, we have had all of that come through. Hey, Astral, good evening. Yes, so she brings up a great point. About the tornadic spouts. There have been a few pictures that looks like, and there was a little bit of a spin showing up on the weather radar as well, that would have suggested we did have a couple of water spouts on Lake Erie. Talk about just an intense storm. It's crazy. The intensity is just insane, that you can have literally 3 to 6 inches of snow per hour, thunder and lightning, and then water spouts almost coming ashore. It's nuts. But there you go. So there's where we have that. So Ethan, again, tell your friends that they do have some snow coming. They're not going to see the 30, 40, 50 inches of snow, though. Here we go. And for the new people that are joining us, thank you so much for finding the channel. Welcome. If you haven't already, would love a thumbs up so that more people can see this as we break down this system. So here is the radar once again. And to point out, and we've been talking about this a lot here, that we are really missing out on the north side of town. That is what we were expecting, though, at least on this channel. Wow, 43 years, only 2 storms with Thundersnow. It's crazy. Hopefully we'll get a good one for you. Unless you don't like the snow. I don't know if you're I would love to know if you're a fan of snow or not, but Thundersnow is crazy. It's insane. I'll show you to see if this live picture is still up. there's where we are at this time and all that stuff. It's just nuts. It's literally just nuts. And we will continue to see that snowfall through the next, several hours. It's crazy. So this is a live look. We haven't gotten much more snow in this area since we talked today. And that's, again, that heavy stuff that continues to fall. Just responding to one comment in 1 second. All right. Snow removal. So that's perfect. So we need to get you a good winter. Yeah, I can imagine that love-hate relationship for sure. All right, so there's 15 inches of snow in that shot there. That's crazy. Ethan prefers warmer weather. Post in the comments. Do you like the cold or do you like the warmth? Snow or beach? I would love to know. Please post that in the comments. All right, we'll get you back to the radar real quick. I love it. Eddie's lobbying for Puerto Rico. That's the spot to be if you need to thaw out. I love it. All right, so again, this heavy snow continues. If you're watching from northwest of Buffalo, that's going to move on through. Thank you to all of the new subscribers that we have had on this channel as well. It's been awesome getting to meet everybody. I say meet everybody just through YouTube and some of the live chats we do. We try to do a live chat every Saturday or when it warrants to kind of do this. And then we post the videos, of course, through the week when there's stuff to talk about. And there's always stuff to talk about when it comes to the weather because we all love it on this channel. So if you're new and finding us for the first time, welcome. Please give it a thumbs up. And we would love to have you in this weather community. Please hit that subscribe button. Anything except for hot and humid. I am with you. Thanks, Eddie. I appreciate you, man. I thank you for everything, all your reports through Fiona and beyond. And let's hope that's the last one for Puerto Rico as we round out the hurricane season. Yeah, I hate the humid weather too. And I live in Florida, but I'm from Pittsburgh. So I love the snow. So I miss it. And I'm very, very jealous of these people. So Ethan has a question as we were breaking down snow. Could the tropics wake back up? Yes. I think this cold front that's going to blast through Florida and kind of give the Florida Peninsula kind of an ugly Thanksgiving week, really starting on Sunday. Monday's going to be okay. Tuesday looks wet as well. But that front's going to kind of get hung up in the Southern Gulf or into the Caribbean and then spin back up again. So my video on Monday is going to, we can talk a little bit about it tomorrow. I'm going to try to do our weekly live hit as well. I do think we're going to have the opportunity for something to spin up post-Thanksgiving and maybe in the first couple of days of December. There'd be something active down there in the Western Caribbean. So that will be the spot that we're going to watch. If we're going to get it, there's a little signal. So I'm going to have a whole video on that. That's a really good point. And it is. And the reason for that is, even though we were in a La Nina year, the atmosphere just took forever to respond to that La Nina feedback. So in the winter forecast, and if you guys are looking for winter stuff, I have what I think is going to happen this winter kind of pinned to the top of the comments. You can click on that and watch it, but it took a while for the atmosphere to realize that it was in a La Nina. And then it went gangbusters once it realized that, because in a La Nina, we typically have a worse hurricane season. It just obviously took a long time to get going, and it is displaced like by about 6 weeks, because the peak of hurricane season this year really happened in late September to October, November, rather than later in August through September and then kind of winding down. So you are 100% right in that assessment. So it's just nuts. Alrighty, guys, I have to run. Thank you so much for joining me in this weather conversation as we break down the snow off of Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, Lake Michigan, but especially Lake Erie and Ontario, as New York and the western side of the state and upstate just getting hammered with the snow. Again, we have reports of over 55 inches of snow already in Orchard Park. Official numbers coming in. Could get another foot more. If you're watching again from Buffalo, this band will lift up. We're not talking about those crazy totals for you, but we could end up with a foot to 18 inches. So thank you so much for watching. Would love it if you give this a thumbs up or consider subscribing. We talk and track all things weather together. Would love to get your reports into what you are seeing, especially if you live in Western New York or around the Great Lakes when it comes to this lake effect snow event. I appreciate you guys. Have a great Friday evening. We will catch you next time.